Hello. What do you think girls imagine when they see their favorite female sports player not make the same amount as a male sports player? I have no idea, but we will be discussing about this and about just the women's sports salaries compared to men's sports salaries. Before getting to that, I want to introduce myself. My name is Jonathan Junkerth. I am an advocate for women's equality rights, and that includes for women's sports and professional athletes pay equality as just as men do. So I intend to provide you just overall why women deserve to be paid the same as men in terms of sports. I will be talking about women can play sports just as well. They, or even better than men. Women's sports are just as entertaining as men's, and both men and women athletes get income from advertising. All right, let's get into this here. All right. So for my first main point, women can play sports just as well or even better than men. According to an article by Kelly Clark, the women's United States national soccer team was awarded $2 million for the first place finish. This is a significant amount, but it pales in comparison to what the U.S. men's national team overall received from last year after losing in round 16. They actually made $9 million. You might be asking me, oh, how does this have anything to relate to why can they play just as well? As showed in this diagram right here, overall, the United States women's national soccer team has had more wins, has actually won World Cups, and has won medals, whereas the United States men's national soccer team has not won any World Cup titles or anything like that. And yeah, that just goes to show women are just as good or even better than men in a sport. So, the next thing I want to talk about is women are just as entertaining as men. All right. In this, I want to talk about an article by Olivia Abrams. Major League Baseball is a $10 billion revenue giant, while the national pitch fastball players or the softball professional athletes make an average of $5,000, $6,000 because of the league's low revenue. As we just talked about before, women are just as good or even better than men at sports. But because of the low advertising and revenue given to them, they can't make as much, even though they're better at men at sports. And as showed in the diagram here, you can see that overall, women are just as entertaining as men when it comes to terms of whether it's Olympics or watching a sports game like the women's national soccer team or watching basketball or whatever. The next main point I want to talk about is both men and women athletes get income from advertising. So, in an article by William Lee Adams, a recent study has found that major television networks in the U.S. dropped just to 1.6% of airtime for women's sports, which is down 6.3% in 2004. And across TV and print media, female athletes make up 8% of overall sports coverage. And because of this, when women don't tend to be in a lot of sports ads, they're there for because they just don't obviously get the airtime. And as stated previously in this presentation, I talked about why women play sports just as well, or even better, they're just as entertaining, and they both get advertising. And overall, these are my reasons why women deserve, and just for these reasons alone, women deserve to be paid the same as men in terms of sports. Thank you.